What's up, fight fans? Greetings from the Wrestleverse. I'm your host, Nate.
I'm Lexi.
And it's time to take it to the ring.
On this episode of WrestleCap, we will be reviewing NXT 2.0.
So first off, we have Tommaso Ciampa in the ring talking trash about Braun Baker.
Just totally tearing him down.
Yeah, he's like, you piece of garbage, you know, you only had like 20 matches, tried to do this for 20 years, and blah, blah, blah. And then we got Dakota Kai coming backstage, fighting Raquel Gonzalez all of a sudden.
Yeah, she then gets like a lightning.
Yeah, it was like a big old light like fixture and just like
stabs her. Then we got Joe Gacy, and he's back with an apology, but not even from himself. So then we've got the Grizzled Young Vets, and they're against the Creed Brothers, and it ends up in a really big crazy match. Then we got Trick Williams battling up against Dexter. That was
good.
Really good. We got Von Wagner fighting up against Idris Endroy.
Yes. Endroy.
Is that how you say his name? And we've got Elektra Lopez battling Io Shirai with a surprise appearance of Zion Quinn.
We got Tony D'Angelo coming up against my man Pete Dunne's going to happen up. And my man Pete Dunne's going to break some fingers.
Yeah, so let's start off with recapping a little bit on champion Tommaso Ciampa. Now, he's trash-talking Braun Baker the whole beginning of this show.
Oh, yeah.
And he even says, Braun Baker, when he comes out, he says, he will win the next NXT championship or he will die trying.
I will die trying! Anyways.
So we'll see what happens in 2 weeks on New Year's Eve when they go head-to-head, and we're giving him another chance to redeem himself.
Yeah, man. Tommaso Ciampa says he will, like, expose you for his inexperience in life, right? And just how he's been doing this for, like, 10 to 15 years, and you've been doing this for 10 to 15 matches, bro.
Yeah.
Like, come on, man. There's no comparison.
And it's, like, contradicting because he's hyping him up, but at the same time, like, belittling him. He's like, you're doing great, like, you know, for where you are, you're doing great. But at the same time, he's like there, like,
you're not there yet. You're not there yet, bro.
He's like, yeah, I've got 10 to 20 years, but you've got like 10 matches. So
it's true.
He then claps back and like grabs Braun by the neck and just totally lifts him up.
Yeah, Ciampa's like totally like surprised he did that to him.
Yeah.
But he puts him down all nicely at the end, and they like look at each other's belt like, that's mine, no, this is mine, and then it was like that.
Yeah, then we've got Grayson Waller out.
Oh my God, bro.
Yet again, he's talking crap about AJ Styles, saying, oh, you make all this money, you should be able to afford a haircut, saying how he probably gets a bunch of left swipes on Tinder.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, I have to say, I think his hair is quite luxurious.
It's fine.
I'm a little jealous. I want to know the hair routine. It's very shiny, very silky. Next up, we've got Dakota Kai fighting Gonzalez backstage.
Bro, these two people hate each other.
Yeah.
It was just like all of a sudden backstage, boom, they start kicking each other asses. Big rivalry with Dakota Kai, throws around, hits, and then into the stomach, and then like she gets shoved into like a metal storage like container.
Yeah.
I'm like, Jesus, poor Dakota Kai.
Yeah, and then that's when she'd grab the light beam and just put it in Dakota's stomach. And at this point, the match hasn't even started yet.
It wasn't.
Like, this is just them backstage. I thought that they were going to talk to each other, you know, kind of shit talk each other back and forth, but they just went for it. Yeah. Just to show you guys how much they dislike each other. Yeah. Gonzalez then destroys Dakota, and the referees then have to get involved. Yeah. And the match even ends up going outside.
To the parking lot.
The pre-match ends up going outside. And we know Raquel Gonzalez is going to use everything to her advantage because they're in a street fight.
Oh, yeah.
So, you know, all bets are off here. There's basically no rules.
No rules, bro.
Dakota brings out a trash can and just shoves her, puts half of her body in the middle, and then jumps onto the trash can while she's still in it.
Yeah, totally, she deserves it, bro.
Yeah, I mean, she just totally crushes down midway, and I know that one hurt.
It did. You know, Gonzalez chokes out Dakota on the commentary desk, and then Gonzalez ends up pinning freaking Dakota, getting the 3 count.
Yeah.
And, you know, everybody knew that she was going to win.
Yeah.
She's like 3 times as big as her. She always needs to have like some like advantage. But, you know, Gonzalez makes sure at the end by telling Mandy Rose she demands a rematch for the NXT champion.
And then we see Miss Cora Jade coming back on. Gonzalez is like, ven acá, mamacita, come here. Like, kind of belittling her because if, you know...
She's mad. She's already gonna fight.
She's mad.
Yeah.
And Cora Jade, last we heard of her, she was just coming back recovered, and they really used that up to her advantage. Now, Gonzalez starts talking to her as if they're friends, like they're chicas, they're besties, and then she's just makes it very clear that even though they might be cool, the NXT Championships, every man to themselves.
Pretty much, yeah.
So then we see Mandy through Zoom on a teleprompt in this little itty bitty red bathing suit. And she is saying she knows that Gonzalez is jealous of her.
She's so pretty, you know, they're all jealous of her.
Yeah.
I'm gorgeous.
She's there like in some swimming pool saying how she's going to dominate her in this title match. Jesus. And she's going to get ready. She better get ready for an ass whooping.
God, Lexi, you can't wait. You toxic attraction. Right after that, her minions coming to start beating up them. Cora Jade's getting beat up. Gonzalez is getting beat up on them, and then they all laugh and just make them jerks.
Then we've got Joe Gacy, and he's on the screen with Harlan. Now, apparently, he's so shaken up that he can't even speak. He's in the back like...
You got Loomis in there, man.
Yeah, he's got this like scary face, and he can't even apologize for himself. And apparently the reason why is because he's sensitive. Oh, yeah. His emotions were triggered.
You saw his face, Alexi.
Yeah, I mean...
sincere, bro.
Very, very sincere. It was the most sincere apology I've ever heard in my life. It was.
Nice.
Yeah.
Grizzly young vets all there watching their freaking tablets saying how cool the Creed brothers are doing backflips and stuff. It's like, wait, bro. I got a plan. We're not going to win with this. We're going to win with this.
Yeah, because mind over matter.
Exactly. You don't need muscle to win, you know?
Not at all. Next up, we've got Indy Hartwell and Parasia Parada. I apologize if I'm butchering those names. Okay, but they come out basically just saying that their match got postponed. And they're talking to Grayson Waller, just like letting him know, you better be careful with AJ Styles.
Yeah, bro. Don't want to mess with AJ Styles, man.
Don't want to mess with him. Then we've got the Grizzled Young Vets up against the Creed brothers. Yeah. Now we start off with Gibson getting dragged out by Julius. Oh my gosh. And Brutus picks up James like a toddler and just slaps him down.
Just done.
And then it's our favorite time.
Jacket time! Yes, jacket time.
They're back this time, but with their own commenters table.
Yeah, bro, they have to have their own.
Yeah, it really was weird. So they were just set up on the side.
His watermelon jacket.
Yes.
They were there just to watch, you know, just one big watch party, you know, and then the Grizzled Young Vets push the Creed brothers into Jacket Time's announcers table, and then they start getting each other's face, and then the Grizzled Young Vets come, and the Creed brothers come, they all start fighting, and then ding, 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 disqualification.
Now we've got Briggs, Jensen, Jacket Time, Creed brothers, Grizzled Young Vets, and of course the refs got involved because, come on, at that point, you can't go any further. So then we've got Trick Williams and Dexter Lumis. Yes. They were basically started off kind of like talking shit, and the second he came on the screen, Dexter like squealed. I mean, the second that they saw Dexter on the screen, they like squealed and ran off. Then we got Io Shirai, who was there sticking up for her girl, Zoe Stark. You know, girl power. She kept on getting picked on because she was like going off in a rant, but it's not the first time we've seen her do this. So I'm not sure why everybody was surprised.
Well, this is time for Trick Williams is getting ready to go up against my man Dexter Lumis.
Yeah.
Oh, Trick Williams comes out in his leather Matrix pants. That worried me because, you know, it seems like they were going to rip a little bit. But hopefully they won't, but we'll find out, right?
Yeah, I guess we'll find out. Dexter's there with his, like, murder eyes. He's got his hands around Trick's jaw, just, like, trying to twist his head off. And, I mean, his eyes just... Yikes, it was like scary. The show Dexter. Roderick Strong comes out of nowhere and his face is like, because he gets knocked out. His Christmas hat gets knocked off.
My hat.
And Trick has got Dexter in a chokehold for like a good minute. Like Dexter's veins are coming out of his forehead. His like whole body is turning red. I mean, he looks like Angry Bird.
Yo, he did look like Angry Bird.
Like the hair and everything, like he is Angry Bird. Come on, you tell me you don't see the comparison between the two of them.
Trick Williams takes his shoe off at this moment, and he uses it as a weapon.
Yes.
But Dexter is like not even phased and keeps choking him out on the floor, and he's like, man, his tongue's coming out. Ah.
He's there like, with his shoe.
My shoe. What was the point? He's like, my shoe. It looked like a cheap old plastic shoe. Anyways, he gets the win, and then.
Grayson Waller comes out and gives Dexter a nice congratulations by beating him up with a chair.
Yes, bro.
I mean, I think it's really sweet. Grayson comes out and, he loves the spotlight on him. And, we see him again right before Pete Dunne goes head-to-head with Tony D'Angelo.
D'Angelo, man.
And, the crowd loves AJ Styles in comparison to Waller. When he comes out on stage, there is a very clear difference between the two of them.
Oh, yeah.
AJ immediately is telling Waller to, shut up, telling him that he's the biggest jackass in NXT. And AJ Styles calls out Waller for not only caring about his looks, but quote-unquote swipes and likes.
Yeah.
If you know what I mean.
Yeah,
And it's kind of like he's the popular kid in high school who's finally getting called out. Everybody's like, yes, finally someone's calling him out.
Well, Walter takes his shirt off right then. He seems like he's going to do something. Then he gets out of the ring like a total jackass and walks out and,
Total jerk. He didn't even do anything.
AJ doesn't do nothing. I'm like...
you take your shirt off like you're this big macho guy and then you leave? That doesn't really make sense.
Lexi doesn't matter because we got MSK with Matt Riddle and they're riding downtown Orlando on scooters.
Right here, 15 minutes from us. It's so crazy. Next up, we've got Von Wagner, and he's fighting against Edris Enofi. Originally, I had my money on Wagner. I really did. The beginning started off he's a big dude. You really think he had him, but then Edris puts him in this upside down submission hold, and he won. But at the end of this match, Vaughn is not okay with the outcome.
He's not okay with that.
He tries to redeem himself, and what does he do?
Throws him all over the place. Edwards in the ring, and then he stops by the ref and walks off like a loser. I'm so mad. I have to beat people up after I lose.
Then we've got Elektra Lopez battling up against Io Shirai.
Yeah.
And she wraps her leg around her head and then also while in the middle rope and just chokes her out with her leg. Come on.
That's a cool move though.
It was pretty cool, honestly. I've never seen anything like that. But Shirai immediately begins to fight back.
Oh my god.
And while this is all happening, Zion Quinn comes out with a rose in his mouth, super novela style. And he even brings out a little mistletoe.
Oh my god.
Totally blindsiding Lopez because Shirai then backflips into Lopez and moonsaws her, taking the win. And, I mean, Zion totally threw her off. It was not fair.
Yeah, man. What's up with that mistletoe?
Yeah, come on. Alrighty, next up we've got Tony D'Angelo and Pete Dunne for the final match. Now get ready for this one. We've got Tony getting his arms crushed. And he's...
on the apron by Pete Dunne, man. It was insane. On his knees, on his arms. That's painful. Then Dunne breaks D'Angelo's fingers right after that. I grab him and break him. Ah! And then he finished it, Pete Dunne, with a bitter ending, taking the lead.
Yeah.
Man. Pete Dunne, you get it, bro. But D'Angelo, no. D'Angelo comes back, though, right?
Yeah, he's like, hold on. He can't stand to lose.
Bro, none of these new guys can stand to lose. It just gets me...
come on.
Bro, he gets a freaking crowbar and shoves it in freaking Dunne's mouth. And leaving him on the floor with excruciating pain,
oh, that must hurt. He shoved that far into his mouth and
rocked his hand.
I can't imagine. And it was a nice brutal ending.
Yeah, it was.
So, all right, here at Take It to the Ring, we like to give each fight card a rating.
That is right, we do. We got 5 for Fight Forever.
4, this is awesome.
3, you still got it.
2 is what?
And 1 is boring. Don't even watch the show. Watch our recap because Lexi and I are way more entertaining.
Way more entertaining, we promise you. Mm-hmm. And I have to say, I think it's 4. Yeah, it was awesome.
It was awesome.
So intense, if you ask me.
Got Pete Dunne going against freaking Tony D'Angelo, Io Shirai, fingers breaking, crowbars, drama. People taking their shirts off being badasses. But anyways, we thank you guys so much for watching. You guys are amazing. If you like what you see here, take a moment to leave a comment.
Like, share, and subscribe. And for more WrestleCap videos,
click the link below. Our social media is right there. Boom.
Until next time, I'm Lexi.
I'm Nate.
And you're watching Take It to the Ring.
Yeah.